Welcome to Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning for Thursday, July 9th. I'm your host, Tom Orr. The Ball State game in 58 days, the game against Michigan in 142 days. We're sponsored today by our friends at Jeff Ruby's of Columbus, the award-winning upscale steakhouse in downtown Columbus. Named one of the top 50 steakhouses in America by Food Network. Just go to jeffruby.com/Columbus or scan that convenient QR code on your screen to check out the menu and make a reservation today. All right, you may have noticed my spiffy new shirt. My shirt says Buckeye Insiders. That's because we have not just a spiffy new shirt, but a spiffy new website as well. It officially launched on Wednesday. I think it is probably safe to come on in. We have seen a lot of familiar faces on our message board. Been delighted to see a lot of familiar names and avatars and all that on the board, and starting to reconnect with some old friends and make some new ones. If you want to join us, you can find us at buckeyeinsiders.com. If you have any issues whatsoever accessing the site, any kind of issues getting your account set up, just shoot me an email, tom@buckeyeinsiders.com, tom@buckeyeinsiders.com. I am happy to help you out with anything and everything with that process, but I can promise it works. We've got lots of folks signed up already. We hope you will join us there as well. One of the people you will see at buckeyeinsiders.com is Juck Miletti. He is our recruiting insider. Juck, you have your own spiffy Buckeye Insider shirt. You've had one for a couple weeks now. I finally caught up, but it is delightful to have you on the team with us and finally have a website to send people to.
It sure is, Tom. I didn't realize how much I missed being on a board. I really do love being on a forum and interacting and popping in throughout the day. I was so accustomed to that for so long, and then I didn't have it. I didn't know what to do. It was Twitter, where it's just a cesspool over there. So we like to keep it confined to the real hardcore folks who know what they're talking about, who want to talk in a polite way to each other. And if you join the board, that's what you'll get. So it's a good time.
Yeah, we have had a lot of fun talking there. I had the same feeling that you did throughout that month where we didn't have a site where, we're at an Ohio State football camp and I'm pulling my phone out to put something on the board. And I'm like, oh, we don't have a board. So good news, we have a board again. You can find us at buckeyeinsiders.com. One of the things we are definitely going to be talking about there this month is the recruitment of David Gabriel Georges, the 5-star 2027 running back. He has set an announcement date, and according to a report this week from On3, he may have a decision already. Juck, let people know what's going on there, and are you buying the reports that are coming out about that?
Well, we'll first start, Tom, with it was the first thread that I made on the Buckeye Insiders board, and I think that is fitting because I think that this is a recruitment that we will look back on for years to come. And as we roll down into the final couple of weeks, the report did come out that his uncle said he has made up his mind and he is happy with his decision. And then he went on to discuss the contenders. Of course, Ole Miss, there was a little blurb about Ole Miss. We all know Ole Miss isn't really in this. It's an Ohio State and Tennessee battle. Then there was what he had to say about Ohio State. Now, the uncle, as most people know by now, has been an Ohio State fan for a long, long time and knows everything about, he's a real Buckeye fan. He gets everything and he knows what Ohio State has to offer and is able to ramble on about Ohio State for as long as you would want him to. But he kept it pretty brief in the fact that if David goes to Ohio State, he's going to be another one of the best players coming out of Ohio State, and he'll be developed well. He'll have a chance to win national championships and potentially more, and he'll get drafted high, and he'll be another great Buckeye. Then he went on to talk about Tennessee and what he would potentially mean to the Tennessee fan base, which is something that they're not used to, unlike Buckeye fans, was kind of the insinuation. And if he'll be a potential legend there. Tennessee, these guys haven't had anywhere near the success of Ohio State, and they might not in the next 15 years. But in the 3 years David's there, they might have the best success they've ever had. And it all sounded really, really slanted towards that direction, almost as if you could kind of read into this a couple of ways. Like if he really is a Buckeye fan, maybe he knows also how crazy they are and wants to start letting them down easy, or maybe he wants to ease the blow, there's a lot of ways to read into it, but I think that the takeaway from anybody who read it was definitely it was slanted towards this is going the wrong way for Buckeye Nation.
Now, I read I read the article. I thought, yeah, I had the exact same takeaway. That is certainly the way it seemed like it was trending. So David Gabriel Georges then went on Twitter, and this is one of these brevity is the soul of wit, or it doesn't take much to say a lot or potentially say not much. What did David Gabriel Georges have to say about the report?
He said, I didn't say anything. Now, he did say I didn't say anything. That's true. That makes a lot of Buckeye fans feel better, but it is also true that David Gabriel Georges never says anything, and that this uncle has been kind of the designated spokesman for Camp David Gabriel Georges for the last 2 years. This same guy has been the lead spokesman, the guy that mom and dad have had take the lead here, because essentially when it comes to football, he's been David's football dad. He's the guy that's taken him to practice, that's coached him and his friends from the time he was little, that's been on every single one of his visits. This isn't like the third Uncle Urban Meyer situation where it's a guy trying to just kind of get in on the transaction at the end. This guy legitimately is very, very close with David, and it feels like the parents have kind of been a little more of the passengers, and the uncle's been driving the car throughout this entire deal, and even before his high school recruitment. Yes, his high school recruitment, because he did go from Canada down to Baylor. So he was involved in getting that and making that happen as well. So this isn't just some guy speaking out of turn here, though it did sound like potentially David was not happy with either what he said or he wasn't happy with the reaction that came out of what he said.
So now the question is, do you believe it? This is one of these fun recruiting things where is this a little like the MLB draft talk where, what you hear before the MLB draft or the NFL draft, are you getting a smokescreen? Are you getting the real deal? What do you want to believe about this? Did he say this because this is true? Did he say this because this isn't true and he's going to throw everyone off the scent? This is the fun of recruiting. You've missed it. Just admit it. You've missed it. It's okay. So if this is all true, and he does end up at Tennessee, Ohio State has certainly put all of its eggs in the David Gabriel Georges basket for 2027. So if they don't end up with him, where do they turn next?
There could be a couple reasons, motivations for him to potentially go this route. And one could be, and he did mention in the article, that the Tennessee staff, not Carlos Loughlin, where he has his best relationship with, but the Tennessee staff as a whole, including Josh Heupel, has the better relationship than the Ohio State staff. That shocked a lot of people. That's not the first time he said that. He did say coming out of the Ohio State visit that was really the first time that they had a good long interaction with Ryan Day, which I found to be pretty surprising there. And then I started thinking about, okay, maybe Ryan Day's going to be hands off and then he's going to come in and be the closer. That's the only thing I could think of. But Josh Heupel has been involved the entire time, and that feels like it's made a difference in the uncle's point of view. The question is, how much is that really David's point of view, and how much does he really care about that versus, I don't know, a 40-year-old man would care more about that potentially. Who knows? It could also be trying to maybe throw up a little signal to Ohio State that you're going to need to do a little better here as we come down the stretch to get him. But should they not, Tom? Should they not? There's a couple of options. One would be Jaden Miles. Jaden Miles came in for an official visit. He's the back out of Louisiana, maybe like the top 25 running back in the country. I'm not a huge fan, but they were fans enough of him to bring him in for an official. He clearly wanted to be at Ohio State. He did not like the news that they were waiting on David Gabriel Georges, and he committed to Florida State the very next day. Now, could they go back and potentially flip him out of that Florida State commitment? I think if they really wanted to, yes, they could. You've also got Nigel Newkirk, who came in for an official visit, committed to Alabama. And that one, to me, I think they might be able to double back on as well. That one would get me pretty excited. I think the biggest odds here, what we would most likely see is this is someone who we've not discussed yet, a senior film eval and somebody that they get in. And then the plan is Elijah Newman Hall, make sure he sticks next year and everything will be just fine. You got Favor Akey, who looks pretty doggone solid as a freshman, as a young freshman. We saw him in the spring. Obviously, he needs to gain a little bit of weight, but he looks like he knows what he's doing. He's twitched up. He's quick. And you got a couple of young guys in Isaiah and Bo and Turbo. You got Legend in the mix. To me, the David Gabriel Georges recruitment was all about upside. If you get him, it's all upside. If you don't get him, it's not like it's a devastating loss. It'll hurt. It'll hurt. And they will obviously face a lot of criticism for pushing kind of 2 whole cycles in the David Gabriel Georges basket and losing, and they deserve it. They deserve it, especially if it was truly a relationship loss. But does it really hurt you in the long run? I don't think it does. And you got a lot of extra funds to go play around with. All in all, Tom, this class to me is about the trenches, and I love it. And I think most Buckeye fans do. There's nothing that's going to happen after this that's going to upset me about this class, because it's already like, I just love it.
Yeah, it does feel like they have gone all in the trenches this year, and they are loaded at the edge positions right now. And again, there's a little ways to go till National Signing Day when pen meets paper. But if the class stays as it is and they can add a Carlos May in the interior of the defensive line, then this is probably, Tony Gerderman and I did a show sometime a few days ago, and could this be Larry Johnson's best class at Ohio State since ... And there have been some great classes at Ohio State, but this might be his best class at Ohio State. So, and I think everyone's going to hear this and say, all is lost on the David Gabriel Georges front. I was like, nah, hang on. He's not committing until July 22nd. So, and there's,
for the record, Tom, I'm still 51-49 Buckeyes.
Yeah. I just wanted to put that out there. I don't think anyone is saying that the ship has sailed forever. I don't want people to get that impression. I do think there is going to be a whole heck of a lot to talk about over the next couple weeks until July 22nd. And the best place to talk about that, well, friends, I have great news for you. We have just the place for you. That place is BuckeyeInsiders.com. That's why we got our insiders covering the team, our insiders covering recruiting, our insiders covering scheme. We even have a basketball insider. All you Ohio State basketball fans, we have heard you. We are going to be covering the Buckeye basketball team much more. We are, in fact, planning to show up Thursday morning to do some interviews with the Buckeye basketball team, a couple of the new players who transferred in. Tony Gerderman and I will be there to talk about that. That will be tomorrow's show. But if you want to talk to us before then, well, the best place to do that is at BuckeyeInsiders.com. We would love to see you there. And again, if you have any issues getting on the site, getting logged in, getting signed up, any of that stuff, just shoot me an email, tom@BuckeyeInsiders.com. I am more than happy to help you with all of that. And thanks again to our friends at Jeff Ruby's of Columbus, proudly offering nationally acclaimed USDA prime steaks, seafood and sushi, impeccable service, live entertainment, and an attention to detail that is simply unmatched. Just go to jeffruby.com/Columbus to check out the menu and make a reservation today. That will do it for today. Thank you guys all for joining us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.